not wasting any time. Nope, 11 o'clock. 11 a.m., 6/16/2026. And let's see, today is a good day to talk about the School of One. So, yes, the School of One is personal liberation project that Nora began about 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago, when she landed on the planet and committed to living the human experience in a way that felt true and authentic and not too painful for her. Today she is feeling worried about a lot of things happening, lots of changes going on in her world, personally and for the community and for the whole world. And it's hard to sit in one place and go to school and focus on her homework, personal homework, that she started a long time ago. And after having done a lot of field work, living her life in the best way possible that she could manage, she has come back to herself after remembering that her only job in this world is to focus on herself and her own business, her own learning, her growth, and not worry so much about everything and everyone else that she forgets to take care of herself, take care of her body, her number one instrument, living library, resource that is her prime duty to pay attention to the signals that the body sends her up to her brain that tell her we're worried about something and it hurts here, it hurts in the neck, in the shoulders. Uh, not too much lower than that. The heaviness in Nora's head this morning has a lot to do with thinking about the future, trying to have the future fall into some place, where the pieces of the puzzle land in a certain spot that would be favorable for herself and all of those involved. And worrying about all of those things that are not here and now is what gives her all the pain that we're feeling, and the knots in her throat, still feeling those. There was a lot of activity yesterday in Nora's world, personally, and she had to take care of a lot of business, real world business that has to do with a lot of important aspects of her life, and it gave her a lot to worry about. And things were taken care of in the moment as she took her steps and drove here and drove there, and took certain steps to resolve those issues, the ones happening in her life, in the best manner possible for her. Eyes wide open, and taking the facts at hand and adding the clues together, 1+1, and listening to her higher consciousness all at once. In the School of One, Nora's personal project that began on day one, almost 50 years ago. Coming back to herself after investigating fully, walking around in her world, going through the emotions and motions of living a full life, making decisions, and not forgetting who she was at her core, beingness, knowingness. She made it back to a place like this one in the moment where she could sit for about an hour and just open up with herself, talk about what is the issue at hand that's worrying her so badly, that isn't already taken care of for her, by her, with and through her free will and steps taken. Now, in the future, in the past, everywhere, every scenario that Nora could worry about is happening, all at once. And then she comes back to herself, to her little School of One, school room, this one, a safe space that she creates for herself and projects outward in the social media platform as a way to leave herself an authentic record of what is happening with her and for her, by and through her body, that she loves the process and is willing and able to come back to herself as often as she is able, because working through the human experience in a way that got her here in this place, to this place with herself, not too beat up to the point where she was unable to recognize herself, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally and energetically as herself. That was a lot of work. And Nora took her time getting back to herself. And that's great because she has the right to follow her own consciousness, highest and best and lowest. Whatever it is that got Nora here, she knows. She knows what she had to do with herself, by herself, for herself and through herself, to get herself to this one particular moment where in her little schoolroom, school of one, she can recognize the projection on this platform and say, yes, that's me. It feels good to be here. Although my world gives me a lot to worry about, and I feel it. I feel the heaviness in my body that all of this thinking, overthinking, uh, does to me. I feel the stress. And it's at a manageable point, at a manageable level, the stress level, because I walked a lot. I left a lot of the city behind, a lot of the issues and things that I had no control over behind this morning and for the past few years. Left a lot of things behind, and I let a lot of things go, and I had a lot of things let me go. And coming back to the school of one, and in full recognition as the adult responsible party in the room here, the important point that Nora wants to cover at this point is that things are up in the air. Things are up in the air for her. And if we can say the least about that, it's that it's true for the world as well. There's a lot up in the air, lots of spinning plates, lots of things that are just teeter-tottering in all different directions. There's no upside to a lot of the things happening. But in Nora's world, which is very small right now, in her school of one, she's learning to bring the focus back to herself and who she is in her core, so that she can find, if she loses it, find her balance, and reconnect with herself. If she ever thought that that connection was lost or severed in some way, it never was. The recognition that we have here with Nora is much stronger, and she's learning to just relax and be with herself for just a little while. Um, and not feel like the whirlwind outside of her door is going to take her house with it too. She's sitting comfortably in one place, one GPS location on planet Earth, and fully grounded in who Nora is. We recognize ourselves in her, in her, in her body, taking care of her as she would herself. Now that she understands that job and does it more willingly, and with the idea that if she does a beautiful job of taking care of herself, then that same energy will be radiated automatically without any extra effort on her part to remediate, ameliorate, make things better for the outside world. When we practice school of one and recognizing herself in the mirror and in the projector and as the tree, as the bee, as the bird, as the next person, as the neighbor, uh, when she recognizes herself as the same, as the equal, as the one who brings herself back to her full charged self, a+wholeness, and that's a feeling that comes through comfortably in her throat, through her throat, and breathing much more deeply now, and feeling that she can capture her breath. And it brings restorative justice to her body. She breathes the feeling in, processes it through her body, and breathes out the feeling that a remodeling project, a restoration project, a project in self-recognition and unconditional love feeling during the process for herself. Nora is able to lighten her load and release the pain and the pressure that she's putting on herself to do much of anything. A lot of pressure to just relax. Relax in her body, right? Learning to relax is a skill, and Nora practices it more often, day in and day out, regardless of the things going on outside of her door, outside of her very tiny bubble of a world. She practices coming back to herself, coming back to her school of one, and schools herself. Asks as the teacher and the student, asks, answers in a conversation, not in a preachy or teachy mode, not in a way that feels like an "I told you so," a reprimand or a shaming of what Nora knew to do in the moment, back then and now, or at any time. What she knew to do was her best, and that level of grace and compassion is multiplied when the body can confirm the feeling, and Nora matches frequencies with 12 other friends who are the same here in the School of One, same energy, matching the energy of the body that Nora emits, because she's in better alignment if she was ever off, She's in better alignment of with and by and through herself with the 12 hashtag 13 friends that make up the cohort here for her in her school of one, where nothing happens and everything happens all at once, and it's a quiet, solitary life, or it's a chaos, chaotic process here, as much as Nora can handle. And yesterday felt a little bit more chaotic than what she would have liked. And it gave her a lot to think about, a lot to overthink about, a lot to worry about, a lot to tighten up, tense up about, feel anxious about. And the body felt it. The stress of all of that, collection of ideas that just hit Nora all at once, and that she takes in, accepts as, a hit to her ego, a hit to her body, a hit to her consciousness, a hit to her feelings, and any other sort of hit, whether it's a painful one or a thing that is something that's good for her, whether it's a thing a hit that she can enjoy, or a thing that is, the worst possible outcome. There's a whole range of feelings that Nora went through yesterday that give her a residual feeling of worry. But having walked some of that stress off this morning, she was able to just think about not much during the walk. She had a companion, and helping that companion help her. uh, they made it back home, and Nora was able to bring herself back to the place that can be a source of comfort or a source of chaos too, which is her own body. And in the school of one that Nora returns to, not that anyone is in danger, not at this moment, here in Nora's school of one, where the outside world doesn't exist, it's quiet, and she can focus. She can listen to the clear voice coming through her, and recognize the tone, recognize the energy as a comfortable feeling, a feeling of this is me, a feeling of I wouldn't want to be here, a feeling of worry, because all of the things going on are part of Nora's real circumstances in her life. And she's not here to run away from any of that any longer. Run away from any of the feelings, even the hard ones. In fact, she's here for the feelings that may not necessarily be so pleasant to engage with. She's here to manage less, and just allow. Just allow her body to sit for a little while with herself and be comfortable. Get used to the feeling of not having to do anything, not having to say anything more if she doesn't want to. And taking her time with this process, with herself. The School of One is self-paced. No rush to do anything or go anywhere. In the art of relaxing our mind and body, there's nothing to do because it's already done. And outside of Nora's safe place, nothing is going on. Everything is okay. Everyone is fine. Even though sometimes it really isn't. And that's okay. In the School of One that Nora comes back into the future with, and lives in the present moment as the grounded person in the third dimension, planet Earth, third density. Same same frequency here. Hashtag sameness. Nothing to do, nothing to change. Here in the space where unconditional love rules, the neutral place, the neutral space that Nora wants to inhabit and come back to more often. That waits for her if she wants to wait for herself, and be patient enough to just observe and not think about doing or saying anything about herself or about anyone else that she might think is in a sad state. And bringing her business back to herself. We'll come back in a little bit. Hablar sobre la escuela de uno en español.